So, the business issue for today is business loans. Should you take one out at all? And if so, when? Of course, traditionally, we don't really want a business loan because it's something you have to pay back. You would rather have money that you're spending on the business that you've saved up or that you've generated through having done the business itself. But sometimes they're a necessity. So, if you do decide to avail yourself to one of these, then the next question is when is the ideal time to take a business loan? So I would suggest that at the very beginning of your business idea or um, whether it's a service or a product, you don't want to take a business loan necessarily yet because you want to understand how the business it is works. And if you're still experimenting with which kind of markets it has a potential in and things like that, you don't want to take a loan then because it's still sort of in a experimental phase. And if you take a loan then, you'll be stuck with something that you might have a high probability not being able to pay back. So I would suggest that if you are going to take one at all, you should wait until you actually have a high probability of being able to pay it back, knowing that you're at a point where you know exactly how the revenues are going to be generated to take care of that loan and to be able to, respond to the demand from the creditors or whatever have you. So that's what you want to do. You want to wait until that time, until you're seeing the business itself working and flourishing, which is seems kind of a tough thing to do because how do you get the business to flourish and be working if you don't have a loan, if you don't have the funds? So my recommendation would be initially what you want to do is have savings ready. Take time to save up the money to initiate your business. And if you don't have the opportunity to take time to save up money, then get money from family members, get them to lend you money if they want to do that, or just give it to you, which may be easier because then you don't have to strain relationships with them also worrying when you're going to be able to pay them back. Another thing to do is to just make sure that you don't leave whatever job you have, whatever regular job you have. That way you can take the funds that are being generated from your consistent income and invest a certain percentage of that. So, for example, if you're making say $6,000 a month, but you can live on $3,000 a month, then you should go ahead and do that. And then have the additional funds that are available to be able to pump into the business and generate just the starting revenue that you need in order to grow to the point where you understand how it works. And then once you understand how it works, you can kind of leverage that to take on a business loan or something, some other form of investment without being scared that it's just going to fall apart because you don't want to take on a loan at a point where the probability of it going well and the probability of you being able to make it back are slim because it might harm other opportunities that may come later on when you understand the business better, and then you would have ruined it with starting it on the wrong foot. So you want it to go well, so you want to start it on the right foot. So some unique loan models that are available that may be accessible for certain kinds of businesses are sort of being able to borrow against the accounts receivable of your business. So, for example, if your business is a service or product that exists that is going to be supplied to large institutions like hospitals or other large like educational institutions, then those kinds of institutions they're not going to go bankrupt, right? They have a high probability in the eyes of investors that they're going to be able to pay it back. They're going to be able to pay whoever's supplying business services and supplying products to them. So you might be able to find investors that will lend you money against the against the accounts receivable that you're going to gain from supplying services and products to these kinds of institutions. So that's one unique loan model that's available to, certain kinds of businesses, but not to all. So these are just a few things to think about. And basically the crux of it is don't go for a business loan until you're ready for it because it can harm you in the short run or in the long run. But just prepare yourself for everything that you dig yourself into, every responsibility that you dig yourself into. This just not only applies to loan, but to everything, every responsibility that you dig yourself into, be prepared for it and be prayerful. And God bless.